Life. Hi, good morning. Isn't it fun? Hi, it's Kim Overholt here at my studio, Overholt Art and Entertainment Studio, and I am your hostess with all the toasts. My name is Kim Overholt, and welcome once again to my famous studio here in balmy Niagara, where, we've had a lot of snow lately, and I've been trying to just kind of dig ourselves. Well, we've been trying to dig ourselves out lately, and it's been a lot of fun. And I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm having a good day. I'm just relaxing for the moment. I work as usual. I do have a day job. I didn't quit my day job yet because God knows that I don't make enough money at what I do. And that's what I wanted to talk about. Today's topic is what you're good at. And a lot of people that one into the ring every once in a while to see. You have to find out for yourself what you're good at. And with these times right now, I was thinking to myself, a lot of people aren't working, and so they have a lot of time on their hands to do things and figure out where they are in their lives. Because I know sometimes people say that your job identifies you as who you are too. I think what you do in your spare time also identifies you identifies you as who you are as well. Um, and I also say, always feel free to share with any information that you may have too, because I mean, the great thing about being in something that's a live stream and being in something that's a community based thing where everybody's talking is to be able to respond too. So I appreciate you guys being out here, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Like I say, it's kind of balmy here. Well, as it usually is in the middle of winter. Actually, we've been lucky enough now that it's actually getting a little bit lighter in the mornings, and doesn't seem like I'm going to bed at night and waking up at night again. Sorry. Everyone's, this is an old house, and every once in a while I hear noises and stuff, and sometimes it is just the house settling, but sometimes I'm like, wonder what that could be. Could that be somebody at my door? Could it be my dogs? Usually it's my dogs. And yeah, so hey. Anyway, so yes, what the topic is today is, of course, what you're good at. And I try to explain some of the things that I do so that maybe if it's something that's helpful for you too, it can take you to where you want to be within your life as well. I have been, like I say, I've been doing art since oh, well, let me put it this way. I've had my website, kimoverholt.com, for about 2006 to now. So what is that? 14 years, 15 years? Oh gosh, I can't even count. 2006, 2007, 2017. Yeah, that's 24 years. No, 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 14 years, sorry. Be fine. Yeah, I've been doing my art for longer than that. My math is horrible, by the way. I usually have to use a calculator for most of the stuff that I do. And yes, in the days where I am a cashier, I do count. I really do. Calculators are a godsend. Let me tell you. Oh my gosh, bigger numbers. I always let the calculator do it for me because God knows I can't do it by myself. I'm just into art, and that's what my thing is that if you here's the thing is I always say to myself, okay, well, if I couldn't do art, what could I do? Well, there's so many aspects of art that I mean that you can get into that it you could range from one type of art to another. So even if you weren't good at drawing or painting, maybe you were good at sculpting, or even another form of art, which is music or dance, that kind of thing too. Art is everything, like in a nutshell, that you find a talent in, and that you find healthy and happy to do for yourself. You know what I mean? It isn't detrimental to your health and makes you feel good inside when you do something and you finish it and you're just like, that's it. That's all I needed to do. That was perfect. I follow a lot of people and on Facebook and Twitter, And yeah, I still am on Facebook and Twitter. I don't know why. Mostly just because of my business, just so that people know that I am still out there, I guess, because, I post about KimOverholt.com and have people say, oh, it's a nice website, but I don't have anybody actually contacting me through my website. Well, not very often lately. And I've had a little bit of issues with my web server, to say the least. I've had times where I've had messages come through on my KimOverholt.com and had it so that I didn't receive them. They'd go to a different email address rather than the one that I usually search through. So I ended up missing a chance to do a nice Niagara art party. And unfortunately, I hope I don't miss the chance to do any other art parties in the future, because that's the thing that I find that is a lot of fun, is being able to show everybody, art really isn't that hard to do and everybody can do it. But like I say, everybody does a little bit of aspect of their own kind of art. And even people who say, oh, I don't draw. Some people are good at some people are great cooks. I'm not a great cook. I'm okay. I'm KO, actually. Kim Overall, right. No, I'm not a great cook, but I know people who are. I'm not great at cleaning, but I know people who are. I wouldn't know a thing about the inside of a car engine, but I know a lot of people who are. And this is where, talent for one thing is scooped out for a talent for another. And when you lack in, you one better in, you know what I mean? So that's what it kind of is like. So yeah, so today I am just concentrating on that and thinking for myself, like again, like I said, if I didn't do art, what other things would I be good at? And that's why I think I have so many different jobs that I've done over the years, to try and see where I fit into stuff. Um, so I mean, art is the thing that I've always enjoyed, and it's something that's close to me and something that I enjoy doing. But if I had to pick, um, maybe another profession. See, this is where it gets tough. Um, I would still incorporate what I do for art, but I probably do like maybe some kind of animation graphics, or maybe go from something in more in computer world. And then I think again, sometimes the computer world, when you get into the crunching all those numbers and stuff, it can be quite a pain. I used to do a lot of office jobs, as well as I used to do a lot of hands-on jobs, and to figure what would be the best between the both hands-on, rather than like using your physical body as compared to using your mind more. I don't know. There's an intricate balance too, because sometimes when you sit at a desk all day doing this, you don't work. You don't work your. There's so much more that you have to do. It's more of a presence. I think if you're not into being present, that's what it is. I think is most important. The being present. Yeah, very much so. And that's what I try to be in most of my jobs that I do too. I find that once you get into used and get used to a job, sometimes you fall into a rut and you end up kind of like going along the same routine all the time. You have to remember to always, whatever you do with safety. Oh goodness. Oh, pardon me. I'm going to yawn. Oh my goodness. My teacher would smack me. Oh, for yawning like that. That's terrible. Okay, but yeah, it's always important to whatever you're doing is something that you enjoy, because obviously it's going to be something that you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, you better find something you do, because if it's something you're going to do for the rest of your life, if you fail at it a million times, at least you're happier than if you fail at it that's something you don't like and you're still having to try and beat a dead horse. You know what I mean? So as much as I love doing my art, I always like to see if there's something else good that I'm other things that I'm good at as well. um I used to have I used to be pretty good when I was, I'm a self-taught dancer. I used to dance when I was younger, mostly, and do a lot of great moves. Like I actually wasn't bad at that. I think if maybe I had a turn of events, if I had a little bit more physicality going on, I would probably be a dancer. Um, do like to keep physical, and it is important when I do exercise. I do dance. I do a lot of dancing. It does help, and it actually is a little bit nicer than having to do regimented exercises where you feel you're always like just doing something simple and you're not really enjoying it. You play the music, you dance, you get into the groove of things, and then sometimes you don't want to stop, right? And unfortunately, of course, with YouTube here, you could play all kinds of music, but you have to watch out for copyright, yeah, so a lot of times I don't bother. I don't bother listening to music sometimes when I'm even by myself because, you have those silent moments where you have things already going through your brain. And as quiet as it is here, what goes on inside your brain sometimes is a little bit, you'd be like, where's the noise coming from? And then you stop. And then you realize it's just your noise in your own head that's causing it. And the thoughts that go through your head at the same time while you're talking them. That's the greatest thing. The mind is a great thing. I think maybe, yeah, if I would probably get into some kind of therapy. I think for the mind, if I ever decided to develop, if I had more money to delve into something like that, it would probably be the influences of the mind too. I'm a great storyteller as well. I do enjoy telling stories about fictional things, and I do love that kind of thing. Like I say, I do have a book. It's called The Plight of Time, and I actually downloaded it. I have my Kindle, and I decided, what the heck, I'll download it from Amazon. And yes, it does download, and yes, you can read it. So, and it's not that expensive. I mean, there are cheaper books out there, but I feel I'm worth it. I think for $10, you could probably get a good read out of that one, and maybe even find something really cool about it that might take it to the next level. Like I really would think that The Plight of Time could actually make a series if somebody would just kind of grasp a hold of it and kind of take a look at it and say, oh yeah, you know what? The Plight of Time is a kind of neat kind of concept with maps of different star worlds, and the different worlds that are all in different dimensions, that kind of thing too. If you believe in different dimensions, which is another thing to kind of like we can debate about that. I always can talk about different dimensions. I have a um, yeah, there's so many things that I could talk about for dimensional. That's another thing that I might even try and get to talking about more often on here is the fact that there are other dimensions. Do I think that there are other dimensions? Yeah, I do. I really do. There's some really strange things that you get struck with once in a while, and you wonder why they happen, and you could say that maybe it was something that was meant to happen, something that kind of falls into place. You know, like I say, there's so many directions that you can go into when you think about the course of the mind itself too. The mind is a great play field for a lot of places, including arts and music and anything that has to do with fiction, nonfiction, and everything in between. And that's part of the reason why I love being here too and being live. Hey Daniel, hey, how's it going? Uh, and I appreciate responses, and you know what, there's an artist that I follow. His name is Jamie Pruden, and if you ever get a chance to see some real good fan art, you know what, I boast about him all the time because wow, I mean, he probably would almost be like the male version of me, except more productive. He actually does stuff, and he's actually getting paid for doing his art, which is more than I can say about mine. You know what, I don't have enough. I mean, I got prolific when I started doing paint nights, and I painted like a fiend. I still have tons of canvases all over the place, but it's more the physical. I didn't get into the graphics area of it, where maybe I should have, and started attending more comic cons and things like that. I have friends that do it too, but it wasn't one of my things. I love cartoons, and I do have a couple comic books that I've drawn for myself, and they're more for um, what would you call it? Physical, like more for therapy. Yeah, for therapy for myself. So when I do painting and drawing and stuff like that, I do think about it as some a form of therapy, not just for other people when I teach people how to draw and paint, but when I do it for myself, because I'm also learning as I go too. Because as you know, when you do any kind of art, whether it be like the musics or music or any kind of art of whatever, photography, graphics, whatever, you get a sense of fulfillment, I guess, maybe because you know you're doing the right thing, and that's the other thing too, is the ability to know that you're doing the right thing too. So yes, and knowing what direction you're heading in, that's always important too. And being that this the I mumble a lot, being that this is all about lifestyle and about learning about things, this is a perfect opportunity for people to learn about stuff too. Because I not only do things like when I'm here, I do actually not just talk, I actually do some art as well. But when I do stuff, I try to explain it too, so that it comes to an understanding between the person who's watching to the person who's actually doing it too, and how easy it could be for all of us to switch spots and be able to do what I do, and I could maybe learn what you do and do what you do too. I mean, that's the whole point of it. And oh yeah, Maria Brophy is another great person to get in contact with too, if you want to know about the learning in the art department as well. She's great. She's helped me so much and got me to the next level. And Jamie is also one of those people who are just a building block to get me to where I need to be, obviously. And that's what learning is all about, is and trying to find where you need to be while you're doing this and what works for you. Now, yes, what I wouldn't what I would do, what I'm good at, and I don't enjoy doing, is telemarketing. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I am so sorry, because yes, I do have the gift for gab, and I have had the ability since I was I gotta say at least 16. I've had the gift the gab, and I have had the gift for selling people things, and I have done it in the past. I have to tell you a story. Well, I used to be quite well. I don't say I'm a genius because that's like boasting, and that's not what I do. I'm not. I'm not a boaster, but I am one of those people who am pretty good when it came to figuring out computers back in the day when we had the 286s, 486s, and when we got into Pentiums and stuff, it got a little bit as hazy and all kind of fell into that whole program. The whole DOS thing. Uh, the whole DOS thing was one of the things that I was good at, and I understood it, and I actually was pretty good at figuring things out. And I used to work at a computer store, and I used to sell peripherals and all kinds of different things that used to belong to whatever. Yeah, unfortunately, I am a little bit smarter than I should be. I went to school. That's unfortunate. No, no. So yeah, I know all about like the different peripherals, and I knew all about the different codes and things like that. Yeah, I probably know the back end. If you of anything that was DOS, I could probably still fiddle around back in there, and just a little bit. It's about a reminding yourself. And yeah, once you got good at computers and they switched to Pentiums and Pentium 1, Pentium 2, and then all of a sudden it was like there was no more DOS, and things changed, and everything that I learned kind of went to the back burner. So what I know about computers, I still know the basics right down to if anybody was to throw me into any graphics program, I could figure it out. My husband's always like, well, you have to have the experience. You have to be at least, working proficiently at a certain program for so many years before you can actually say that you are actually know how to work a program. But all the basic art programs are very basic. And as long as you know how to get it started, again, it's all about knowing how to get started. And then once you know the basics, you can kind of play through it and work it to your advantage. And yeah, when I got into graphics later on in life, it was the same thing. It was like I was doing Adobe, I was doing like the Photoshops, and I was doing oh, there's so many other different graphic programs that I was doing. A Corel Draw. There was the all those graphic ones. I used to when I used to do signage. They used to make me make layers of different signage. I mean, different vinyls so that I could make it the proper signage and things like that. Like there is so much stuff to art, and there's so much stuff you can learn that it's pretty deep over the things that so with being good at computers, like I say, you learn the basics, and once you get the basics you can figure everything out from there. um, and yeah, for telemarketing it was pretty straightforward. I was good at describing things and being able to get people excited about what I knew. So yeah, the other story that I have to tell is about the one time where I was working in the computer store, my friend's computer store, selling like 286s, 386s. Oh my God, back when they were like $1,200. And this guy came and I sold them on a graphics. It was a graphics card, or it was either a graphics card or it was a music card. It's to go onto your motherboard. And the thing is, I had the package in front of me. I had the box, right? It was just the box, and I was explaining to him exactly what it was all about, what was inside of it, and everything like that. And I sold him on the whole thing, right? He's like, yeah, yeah, I'll buy it. So I rang him up. He brought the whole thing home, and this is back in the day before even cell phones were invented. So this is like I'm like great day. I did great in sales. Go home, come back the next day, and I find out my boss is like, you sold a graphics card yesterday. I'm like, yeah, yeah, it was awesome. I sold a graphics card. He's like, well, you didn't sell a graphics card. I said, no, I didn't. Why? What happened? He said, well, you sold him the box. You sold him on the idea of the graphics card, but the graphics card was actually in another computer that I had actually was working on at the time. So that box was actually empty. And when he got home, he didn't have he didn't he wanted to be nice because actually he was actually afterwards he asked me out for a coffee and stuff like that, and that's before I was even going out with Frank and stuff like that. So it was like one of those things where he was interested at the time. He found out like how excited I was about it, that kind of thing, and it was great. But yeah, it was like, yeah, I sold him on it, but there was nothing inside it, and it was like, wow, I had that kind of influence. And when I got into telemarketing, I spent that. Yeah, at the end, it all turned out okay. That the guy got a graphics card and got the right graphics card he was supposed to get in the first place, and all went well afterwards. It was silly, but yeah, it. I really enjoyed being doing telemarketing. I wasn't doing just telemarketing. I was also doing tech support. So I would, turn it. Can you turn it back off and on? That kind of thing. Make sure it's running properly, and then get into the nitty gritty of what was wrong with your whole system of your computer and what was the problem. Maybe software solved, that kind of thing. So I'm good at that. I'm good at the gift of gab. I was trying to think, well, if I didn't do art, maybe I do this. Maybe I would try and see about talking to people about life, or doing like a life series, and trying to get people who aren't sure about what direction to go into to give them a direction. And you know what? It's funny because I also do acting too. That's another direction I went into where it's fun to do, but it isn't. There wasn't very much call for it, and especially for me because nobody knows me, right? I'm just Kim. I'm just Kim. This person that you see in front of you, although is like nobody knows. It's like I'm kind of a big deal. I like to think I'm a big deal, but I'm really nobody, and it comes down to being, I'm big deal to me, and when I impress people, that really makes me feel good too. So yeah, I do. Oh, you did take an acting. You know what? I've done a couple roles. I took acting in high school. I didn't really go on stage, but I read a lot of scripts, and I did a lot of you know, voice acting. I know how to do Bart Simpson. I am Bart Simpson. Who the hell are you? Or something like that, like that kind of thing. And yeah, I used to play along with all kinds of stuff. And I used to do animation, of course. I That's what I wanted to do. I went to computers. I took art, and I figured the next logical step would be animation. Like, oh, but there's nothing around here. I tried for Silicon Knights years ago. Nobody would let me in the door. Um, I've tried other places, and everybody just, it's more that I find that a lot of people want to find out what you're good at and then try and tear you apart because you're not good at what they can do, or they won't show you what you can do. They show you where you're wrong and what you can't do. Where a lot of places, maybe not around here. Maybe if I went to another place that actually, had more art involved. So say if I was in Toronto, maybe I would be able to see about having um, more influence in that way. I have a friend, like I said, they live in like a major city. Sometimes when you live in a major city, it makes all the difference of what you can find. When you live in a little outshoot of Niagara Falls called Thorold. I mean, it's good if you know where Brock University is and everything like that. The School of Acting, the Brock, uh, what was it named? Oh, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Oh, Brian or something. It'll come to me. Um, they have the Brock University, and they have their own acting thing. And Shaw has a great thing too in Niagara on the Lake, which I got a chance to check out one time. And I've done acting, and it is fun. I do enjoy it. It's just rehearsing all the lines and stuff like that is where I usually have a little bit of problem. I like to ad lib. I guess that's what it is. And when I have to read from a script, like I did when I was doing telemarketing, I was like, oh my god. Yeah, it gets kind of like I don't want to do it because now I feel like I'm not myself anymore. Now I'm back to being a robot again, right? And that's what it became when I was doing telemarketing. It's like, here's an example. One time when I was doing telemarketing, we were all, the whole group of us were all doing the same thing. And I took off my headphones and I stood up and I listened. And I could hear everybody. It was almost in unison doing the same speech as I was doing in my seat. And I was like, oh, this is like the weirdest thing. It's almost like being yeah, but well, compartmentalized, like you're in your little cubicle and you are you bring your own little bit to it, of course, but you are compartmentalized and you follow what they tell you to do. You do as you want to. No, you don't do as you want to do. But see, and that's where I kind of got to a point where I was like, yeah, I can do it. I can do it for the money, but I don't like to do it because you're saying the same thing as everybody else is. You're doing the same thing as everybody else is, and as much as I am, you know, I'm trying to be on YouTube and I'm trying to make myself known to everybody. I am my own individual person, and this is what lands me in probably to a lot of trouble too, because I don't go with the grain, and yeah. Yeah, oh sorry. Well, I don't want to make anybody sad because, it's not about it's about, and again, it's about what are you good at and not to fall into that compartment. And of course, it comes down to everybody's got a job to do. You have sometimes you have to do that job. Like when I work and I do work, and everybody I have to ask, is there anything else you want? Is there anything else you want? Can I get you anything? What can I get you? I serve people. I am here to serve you, and I am, and not just for for doing for doing a melly for doing deli. I was going to say meat and deli. Say yeah, and meat and deli melly. For doing what I do at my job, I have to ask people, is there anything else I can get you? Can I help you? What can I get you? I am a server. I am servant, and I am a servant to you as well. When I'm here, I want to show you what is important to me to get to you. If there's something that you have that you want to learn from me, that kind of thing. Do I have anything important? But I think everybody has something important to give to everybody else, and a lesson to be learned for sure. Many lessons, and I can go on about it. Yeah. Oh my God. Could I ever? Oh boy. Yeah, and that's it too. Yeah. To learn to lead people, you have to learn how to be led as well. You can't be, I mean, not that you would want to lead people, you want to show people. You don't want to be like, here, let me do it for you. You want to have people like, okay, come and help me because I can help you with this, but you know what? You can help too. Because, oh, here's a good lesson here. Like I say, many of the jobs that I've done in the past, I used to do cleaning, and I am a good cleaner. I am very tidy, and like I used to do housekeeping, and I used to do for retirement for a retirement home. I used to do house cleaning, and well, I used to clean up after fires. If I haven't told you, yes, I used to clean up for insurance places for cleaning up after fires when I was younger. I used to clean new houses that were all from the tradesmen's, all finishing up from doing all the cutting and all the electrical and installing. They called me in to do the cleaning. I am I am multifaceted. I am the cleaning lady. You wouldn't guess it by all this shit that I have going on behind me. And I apologize for using the word shit, but you know what? Yeah, I got so much stuff, and when I became prolific, like the canvases just are out of control. I have so many canvases. But okay, so cleaning. Here's the thing too. When I ever used to do cleaning in people's apartments for a retirement home. Sometimes there would be people that would already be, clean. I wouldn't have to touch a thing. I'd look around, I'd just do a quick little inspection, go, wow, excellent. One lady had everything like right down to the minimum. Like she even had her nail file and her toenail clipper right next to each other and perfectly in the bathroom, everything spotless, like totally all the time. And then there were people who just strewn everything everywhere, and I would have to clean around them and then put everything back. And one lady she would sit on the bed. I had to take off the bed sheets um, as quick as I could so that she could get back on the bed and sit back down. So I'd do that. She'd sit back down. I'd get her new sheets, put them back on the bed for her, sit her back down, and in between, like her being sat on the bed, I had to put all the things that she had with her while she was sitting on the bed back on the bed with her. So this one lady, she would be sitting on her bed and she would have books all around her. Like she'd be reading books and she'd be referencing from one thing to another. And so all the books that I took off her bed to change her bed, I would put her back on the bed and put every book back to exactly where she had them, so she could just go back to what she was doing and like because that was the whole point of things. But when there was once in a while, I have even when I was doing cleaning up after fires, there'd be like some elderly people because fires happen in houses, and elderly people sometimes they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that. This shouldn't have happened. Oh, I'm so sorry." And I'd be like, "Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." And they'd be like, "Can I help clean?" I'd say to them, "Well, can you clean? Like, are you okay?" Because I know, you get, look at me, I'm 51 now. I have my days where it's like, okay, I got to get these old bones moving, right? But if they said yes, if they said they could even like for things that belong to them, the things that they can move and touch and clean or dust or something, I'd say yeah, go ahead. If that's what you can do, do what you can do. because it makes you feel better about yourself too, especially when you see me wandering around your place cleaning your stuff, and you think, well, I know when I get that age, I'm going to be like, let me help you. I'm going to be, oh my God, stop, let me help you. Because, like, as I know, you see people in that environment and you want to help you and as yourself, you see people working hard in that environment and you want to help. And it's like, a more strength to them. I was told I did get into trouble for it because I was told, okay, they do want to help, but they're old. Don't let them do anything. Just let them be. Let them just tell them to go do something else and have, I'll take care of it. But I would never would ever want anybody to do anything to hurt themselves. That's the worst. Like when it causes somebody else to hurt themselves that you didn't really mean for it to happen, but because they wanted to help and then they hurt themselves. It's like, oh wow. Yeah, you know what? And that's the thing that I've learned too. And I tell people this all the time. Well, I tell people who don't listen because nobody's like, you never told me that. Yeah, I did, but you probably weren't paying attention. I tell people all the time, you know, don't judge. Don't judge people. Like, as for myself, I mean, like you see my mess, and obviously I'm not a messy person, but sometimes when it comes to even doing my art, I have it around me just to remind myself to keep going with it. Sometimes it's a motivational thing for me, I think, because just to keep me going, right? But for a lot of people, it's more than just motivation. Sometimes you look at a person and you don't see their potential and you don't realize it until it's too late. And see, that's where I think I differ from a lot of people. People look at me and they don't see my potential, where I know that I can do stuff that a lot of people probably can't. And telling you about it is probably a good way to explain the things that I can do. Because when you know what you can do, at least you know what you can't do. Scratch that, because you know what? You can always learn. You can always learn. There's always much, much, much more things left to learn in this world. Ugh. Yeah, and I talk about it too much, don't I? Talk about it, but I also act on it. I don't just sit on it. I act on it too. I don't just um, do a script. I've actually read a script. I don't just pretend like I've done an independent movie. I've been in an independent movie. I didn't do any scripting, but I was in it. I Yeah, and yeah, here's the thing about judging people, and this is a cute little story that I tell every once in a while too. Back in the day, another job I used to do. One of the first jobs that I ever did was picking fruit, and I don't know about you, but I was out there. My mom, well, my stepmom, my mom, if she, poor lady, she probably couldn't even have had me doing anything like that. But my stepmom, she said, well, as soon as I was able to, she put me out on the farm, and she said, "You go for it, girl. You are going to be, you got to go. You make the money, right?" So yeah, so one of the first jobs I had was picking fruit, and there was this person. It was funny. It was one of those days where it was cherry picking time, and going up on ladders. Oh yeah, peach picking. Luckily, I didn't get into peaches, but I did cherry picking, and I did strawberries, and I also did currants and things like that. But okay, so the one day I was doing cherry picking, and we were just over at the place where all the farmers go and pick up all the workers to go out to the farm. Imagine me! I almost feel like I'm an immigrant. What when you go out to the farm, and but you have. They look at you and they say, yeah, yeah, you can do it, you can come, you can come, you can come. So to where the meeting place is, I was sitting there waiting, and I had one guy. He just looked at me and he's like, "Nope." I'm like, "What?" Uh, he says, "Nope, she's too short. She's too short. She can't climb trees." And meanwhile, the funny thing is that the farmer, his last name was Overholt. Funny enough. And yeah, so it was somebody that was actually maybe a distant cousin of mine that had turned me down. And you know how bad I was so angry about that because you know what? And the guy asked me, the guy who was, going along with the farmer, taking the lists of people that he wanted, and he was like, oh, don't want her. Okay, what's your last name? And I said Overholt, and the guy kind of looked at me, but as he was looking away, he was walking away, and I'm like, I can do that job. I can do the job. I'm good at it. Yeah. So it's all about, yeah, don't judge people. You'd be surprised. I think people would be pleasantly surprised at some of the things that you can accomplish or other people can accomplish that you don't realize sometimes. Yeah. So yeah, I love talking about all kinds of stuff like this, but really I should be acting on it too. So, and it's almost noontime, and I do have a few things that I was going to be getting working on today. Getting working. My grammar is horrible, but my thoughts are all in the right place. I am moving in the right direction. Yes, you know what? Never underestimate people. Oh, that's what I wanted to say too. Underestimating. Yes. Underestimating us. This is what. Oh, okay. Hold on. Put a little more light on the subject. Okay. This is what I wanted to say. This is what I want to say to people. Okay. What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? This is what I want to say. What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? We've been told that we can't do our jobs. Some of us can't do our jobs. We can. We are capable. You know what I mean? Like underestimating people. The government underestimates the people. They do. The government underestimates the people. And that's where they're going to find there are a lot of mistakes. And I don't like talking politics. I don't. And people who've seen me talking politics before know, oh my God, Kim, don't get started. I'm like, just know, okay? Just know. Government is for us. If they cut us off, they're cutting nothing. We pay them. I don't know. I will only, you know what, we pay for all these great things. We pay them to oversee everything. We can find other people that actually know what they're doing to do this stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, don't underestimate people. And that's probably part of the reason why I want to find out what people are good at, because again, like it's all about action too. You know what you're good at, why aren't you doing it? If you know what you can do, why aren't you doing it? I know I'm good at art, and I'm going to keep on going on it. I'm going to beat it till it's like a dead horse. When I used to do paint nights, I used to have people. I'm going to put some lip balm on me, don't mind. When I used to do paint nights, I used to have people say, "This is really great. This is really great. I hope you really continue doing this." And I said, "Yes." I said, "Yes, you know what? I will continue doing this. This is something that I enjoy. I enjoy being able to give people something and share what I know, because I don't want to be alone knowing what I know. You have to share. And again, when you underestimate people, you sometimes don't find out what they are truly capable of until afterwards. Why didn't you tell me you could do that? Why didn't you tell me? Well, you didn't ask, right? If you don't know, you don't know if you don't ask, too. So that's another thing. Yeah, yeah. And yeah, I guess it's a matter of asking people, well, what is it going to take before we finally just say, okay, we've got more people living here than are in the government itself. What is it going to take? Uh, yeah, I guess it can come down to yeah, that for sure. Yeah, faith is important. Faith is a very important thing too. Just had somebody say that if God came down to earth today, uh, the powers that be probably would try to seek to kill him out because of being able to show you, people open your eyes, you know. Um, but in our own way, we have to kind of just prove our integrity, I guess. One of the things that I did for me, because like I say, nobody believed in me except for me, is I did the Laura Secord back in 2013. I did the Laura Secord commemorative walk because I believed in something that maybe Laura Secord also believed in the power of the power of the people, the power of the person, and the power of being able to to save people in their own way if you can, by showing them what they can do for themselves. Yeah, yeah. That's what it comes down to, I guess. And I save myself through art, and that's my saving grace, I believe. The being able to show people what I could do. And yeah, I will continue to do it once this you are once you cannot have when you do not have to wear that mask in front of you, when you do not have to not hug the people that you love, when you can talk to people that you love without having to not be in their top five. Yeah, yeah. One day I'll be getting my paint parties back up and running, and they're going to have to pry that paintbrush from my hands. Honest to God, because people. Oh gosh, this is getting too serious, and you know what? I got to keep it a little bit lighter. I'm going to back up a bit, and yeah, go back to what the original part of this whole thing was, is to find what you're good at, find what you like, and pursue what you love, because there are days coming where there might not be any chance to enjoy it, so enjoy it while you can. That's basically what it comes down to. Yes. So yeah, with that in mind, I guess maybe I should stop talking and do a little bit of action here. um, what I could do is, before you go, see you out with a card. So let me grab my cards, because I say I always have them on hand, and like I say, I always keep them in nice little packets. Like I say, I always play with a little bit of insight to show you that you don't have to stay in the same direction either. You can always move in a different direction all the time. So my cards, I will start with a shuffle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 is a lucky number too, if you weren't ever aware of that. 8 is a very, because it's like a continuation. It's like forever, right? Anyways, okay, so cut the cards. Pick a card, any card, hallelujah. Sometimes I just shuffle until one falls out, or and or I feel good at stopping, or somebody says stop, then I'll stop. So let me just start shuffling, and anybody wants to say stop. We'll see what comes up for today. Ooh, look at it. I'm actually getting a good grip on this today. I'm bending my cards. I don't like to do that. Let's see what we can come up for today. What is a good card for today? Anybody says stop, I'll stop. Or I'll stop them when I feel like it's time. Whoop. All right. All right, we found a couple. Oh, guys. Oh, high insight. This is great. All right. Good things, good things. This is why I always love. Excellent. We have two cards that fell out, and one is one of the major arcana cards. And I have to tell you, this is a very, very good one for me because I've always thought of the High Priestess. Whenever I think of usually I'm the Fool, but when I think of the cards, I think of the High Priestess. And my cards, like I say, I've had them forever, okay? This particular picture, I'll get it into a close-up here for you so you can see. It's a very pretty picture, like the people who made this particular tarot card. She actually, it's a photograph of a picture that she did with all kinds of materials and stuff like that. But the picture itself is a woman in the garden, and she is always like, I can see her in my mind, and she always has surprises waiting for me. She has one hand behind her back, as you can see. Oh, I can't see. She always has one hand behind her back and one over her head. So wherever she may pull out something, either like this, she can show you something, or she can show you something from behind her as a surprise. So you'll never know. This is a good card. This is a good card. This is a good card. This is a surprise card for me, and very, very astute. This means that something big is paying attention, and I'm good. I'm good. I am good, and I am glad something big is and good is paying attention. This one is awesome too. Celebration. This is a celebration card, and they both landed face up, so this is very good. So this is very good stuff, and I'll show you closely. It almost looks like a couple of Polish dancers or Ukrainian dancers, and people are watching and celebrating and all the good stuff. It's very nice, a very light card. It's very happy, like I say, in the Ten of Hearts. So that's a really good card. Also, so it puts in a good perspective and puts a thing for. Oh, let me just find out for the Ten of Cards, because the Ten of Hearts, because it could mean, and this is courage. I always look at the bottom card too because it's always important. Courage. Courage. All right. So courage is important. So have courage today. Be strong. Be strong with you not smelling. Okay. So. Oh, yes. Even better than celebration. It's called success. Success. It's success. So it's going to be a successful day. Oh, boy. You guys are really, this is really great. It says, have a party. Share good food and drink and laugh and dance and sing. At one point, everyone will gather in a circle and link hands. Oh, wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice to see one day? Take a moment of silence to be thankful for shared happiness and success. See the joy that is felt by all as a pulsating violet light enveloping the group. Now ask that all in the circle visualize this beautiful violet ball rising up and into the reaches, into the sky. Then with a shout of joy, see the light being broadcast across the world for all to share. Can you imagine? You all hold hands and you can all feel the love coming up and then exploding into the world. That's pretty awesome. I see joy. I see thankfulness. Embrace. Hey, if you have anybody you can hug, make sure you give somebody a hug today. That's a good thing. Yes. So very good. So success is a great thing to have. And let me just double check my bottom one to make sure I had that one correctly. I no, it's not courage. It's actually discipline. So. See, there is a couple things we had to recall. So the bottom, obviously, be able to have a little bit of discipline. So discipline, you know, have it's going to be a great day, but make sure that you're keeping in tune with yourself. Okay. Grant me the strength to prepare and endure. There we go. And on that note, I hope you prepare and endure your wonderful day for today. And I will hopefully come back tomorrow and maybe have some art for you to play with or take a look at or something. Have I shown you what I did lately? Oh, let me just show you what I have before you go. It's a kiss from me to you. It's called The Kiss. I'll give me one second. I'll show it to you. No, it's a finger painting I did. And it's so beautiful. It is a small version. A small version. No, small version. But I will do a bigger version for anybody who would like it because it is very beautiful. And a finger painting like this is pretty awesome. Look at this. It's called The Kiss. Wow. Wow. Remember those days? Remember those kinds of kisses? Whoa. Okay. I have it in the bedroom. Yes, I have it in the bedroom now. That's beautiful. Anyways, is a kiss out to you guys. Thank you very much. And like I say, hugs as well. If somebody you know, give them a kiss and hug and tell them that I sent you and that I love you. And on that note, I hope you have a fantastic day. And as my mother would say, peace out, brother, with a little bit added. And I hope you have a good one. I'll be back again to bug you up some more. This isn't over yet. Do you read me?